All right, hi again. This is Mike Siver with the Mike Siver Show. And this is Ernest Spencer, my guest. I should say he's actually the co-host, but he's my guest tonight.
Yes.
And we're talking out of one of the books that I've written called Why Did I Do That? And I know all of us at one time or another through our lives have done something silly or maybe even illegal or crazy, and we ask ourselves, why did I do that?
I just want to read this quote that you have in here. It says,
Okay.
while we try to teach our children all about life, our children teach us what life is about. And I like that quote. I don't want to mispronounce her last name. I think it's Schwartz, but it's Angela Swinnis.
I don't know. Let me find the quote real quick here.
It's on page 70.
Oh,
I can't.
yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take that one.
Right. But, I mentioned that in the earlier show, how, our children teach us real quickly. My oldest daughter graduated with a dual major, law and social work, Saturday. And when that child when she first came here, I've come to reality, she was just trying to make friends, because she came to live with me at 13. And she was only a C and a D student. She couldn't get a C plus to save her life. She stayed on the honor roll for the last 3 years she was in college. So now she's teaching me that it was always there.
Yeah.
She just had to reach in and channel it.
And a lot of kids are like that, but we've got to be careful too, because this chapter is we teach people how to treat us, and we have to, a couple things to keep in mind. When we see that they're not listening to us, do we as parents step back and say, what was my role in that?
Right.
Because like the other book that I've written, it's what role did I play?
Right.
So if my child is not listening to me or only partially doing what I ask him to do, and nothing seems to be happening to make it change, you have to start questioning yourself as a parent, what role am I playing in this? What role is, because I'm the responsible. I'm the adult, I'm the parent. There's no other outside influence. Maybe the school teachers now and then, but that's nothing to do with home security and home safety and home rules and home regulations and house rules, which is a whole nother topic we talk about. But the parents don't very often look at themselves and say, what did I do? Now, if you've been a lenient parent, or what you might give yourself another title as a progressive parent, and you don't want to hurt the child's feelings, and you want them to grow up with a sound mind, and they're growing up learning how to manipulate you is what they're doing.
Exactly.
And you're letting it happen.
Exactly.
Now, I guess that's a whole different topic for another conversation, is what was discipline and what is not discipline. But I think most people with any common sense at all know a hard smack on the butt is not abuse.
No.
It's not abuse at all. 50 smacks on the butt, you might want to call the police.
Right.
There's something wrong with that picture. But a hard smack on the butt or sent to the room without television for one night is not anything that's going to get you in trouble.
And this may be out of line, but when my grandchildren, and I got a bunch of them, when they get 3, at the age of 3, for about 2 weeks, I'll pop them on their butt 1 or 2 times when they get close to the street. Because I watched a child get run over by a car, 4
Yeah.
years old, because somebody screamed at him to come back. And I was young. I was only about 11. And it just stuck in my head that child got killed in Chicago. So that's about the age with most children where they get defiant and you call them and they don't come back.
Right.
And it ain't that I need to be in control. I just don't want to run in the street or running somewhere and getting hurt. And my daughters have gotten to the point when they get to, my granddaughter told her daughter the other day, my great-granddaughter, you finna get one. When he call you away from that street, and you don't come back, he's gonna get you. And I agree, that's not abuse.
Right.
That's teaching a child something for their safety.
It is. And they have to learn that there are consequences for their actions. And if as a parent you learn to replace the word punishment with consequences, then they'll quickly understand, if this happens, I'm going to get this.
Right.
If this happens, I'm going to get a reward, because that's a consequence too. But the one thing you want to be careful of as a parent, if you've been a lenient parent or what they call a progressive parent, and you're not disciplining the child, you're hoping the child will do what's right, and if they get in trouble when they're young, you hope that they'll make the best decision. you're living on hope,
Right.
which is fine. We got to have hope. But at the same time, when you realize that it's what you're doing is not working, and then you become a disciplinarian with some serious consequences, the child's going to be confused.
Very confused.
And that can create more damage because their stability of knowing what the consequences are is going to happen is gone.
Right.
Am I saying don't do it? Yes, I'm saying do it.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, you're going to have to take a stand as a parent if you can see the writing on the wall. And most parents can. Whether they want to admit it or not, they can. At the same time, if you're teaching, letting other adults, when you get to an adult to adult situation, and other adults have your behavior sorted out, and you feel you're being abused or used or taken advantage of because you're trying to be the nice person,
Right.
and that happens so much.
To me, it happens a lot.
And then you decide, okay, from now on, I'm not going to let that happen. Then you're going to also confuse your peers.
Right.
But then confusing your peers is not your fault, it's their fault.
Okay.
Because they've taken you and saying, well, this is what,
How far we can push him?
yeah, how far we can push him or her, or what we can do, and
Right.
play tricks on them and all this kind of stuff, and they just write it off. Well, you're probably one of the nicest people that we'll ever meet because you try to make everybody happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a wonderful asset to have, but it makes life really hard sometimes.
Yeah, you have to draw a line, and I've run into that where I've had to draw a line. Back to the street kind of shortly. I bought them a new ball, and they love Dora the Explorer, not Dora, the snow thing.
Snow White?
No, that's a new, Frozen.
Oh, Frozen, yeah,
Frozen.
okay.
It's okay. So that's become the new Snow White. But I bought him a Frozen ball. And the 6-year-old, when the 2, 3-year-olds were out there, said, we have to go in the driveway and play with this ball. And she said, the 3-year-old said, no, we're going to play on the street. And she said, no, Papa going to get us if we run on the street after the ball.
Yep.
So let's play it. Because I got a driveway with a house on each side. So
Right.
they could play us. I got a long driveway. So she said, we have to play in the driveway because we can't chase this ball in the street. So, it's something I learned from my aunt, actually. She used to kind of nudge us in the street and then kind of pop you a little bit. But none of us has ever got hit by a car.
Mm-hmm.
So exactly what you're saying is you set a certain set of
Yep.
standards and you use them.
And you maintain them.
Yes.
That's the hard thing. Firm, fair, and consistent. We go back to that. Firm, fair, and consistent. And it doesn't mean being abusive. It means to be firm in your decisions, stick to them, and be consistent about them. We're talking about some history stuff. I lived in Asia for a long time.
Okay.
And I lived with some Asian families. And I got to know some friends. I had some friends over there. And we were in a restaurant one night, and these couple of little kids, 2, 3 years old, 4 maybe, running all around the restaurant. I mean, annoying the heck out of me. Nobody else seemed to be annoyed but me. And I asked them, what's going on? Why can't anybody control them kids? And they explained to me, and I checked it up later, so I know it was true at that point. Young children in Chinese life get almost everything they want until they're 5 years old.
Okay.
There's very little discipline, except for maybe their life or their safety.
Right.
Very little withholding anything. They pretty much get their way completely until they're 5 years old. When they're 5 years old, it's like night and day.
Okay.
The children have about a week's training turnaround process
Right.
where everything they did prior to 5 years old stops.
Okay.
And they're now treated like young children. They're not treated like adults.
Right.
But there's rules, regulations, and they're held to them very strict. There's no giveaway, no leeway, no nothing, and it all stops. That, they say, is to allow children to have a happy childhood,
Okay.
to grow up, just enjoy life completely until they're 5 years old. Now, do they still do that? I have no idea. Is it really true? I have no idea, but that's what I was told. But it sounded good, made sense to me. I don't know how you can do that, but they seem to have a system down for what they want to do. But when you become aware that you're allowing people to treat you the way, it's hard for you to come back to terms with how do I stop that? And the first step a lot of people take is talking to them. You know, you've been treating me like this for so long, and I don't like it, I didn't know how to stop it, and I want you to stop. You're gonna hope again that they'll stop, because you're an adult, they're an adult, you're asking them to stop.
Right.
If they do, God bless you. If they don't, what are you gonna do? And that's the part, most adults don't believe that you're gonna hold them accountable, because you never have.
Right.
You've never done anything to me before, so I'll just keep doing it. My behavior is this, and your behavior is that, and we're adults, so why should we change? Well, you're tired of it, it hurts your feelings, makes you upset, it's been doing it for quite a while, so you've gotta find a way to change it. Most people won't stop just because you ask them to.
They won't.
So you have to find a way to make them stop, and it's only by being firm in what you'll allow, setting boundaries and sticking to them. Like I said, if somebody, one of your coworkers says, well, I'll pick you up at 5 o'clock and we're gonna go here and do that, and they don't turn up at 5 o'clock, then don't go.
Right.
Then don't worry about it. If you're ready at 5 and they're not there till 5:30, you say, look, I was ready at 5, I changed my mind now, I'm not going. It's hard.
No, I was thinking something, Bill gonna laugh at this too, because, when I work with the kids, I pick them up and I take them places. And I've gotten a CPT, and all of y'all know I said, I don't care where I'm at, colored people time.
Right.
They basically gonna be late.
Right.
And me and Robert talk about it all the time, because we on time. But Bill came back from Florida, he was down there doing something, he said, it's also Cuban people time, because, and I have a big problem with that. But when I used to have to tell children's parents that I needed the children an hour before I really needed them,
Right,
because they wouldn't be on time.
yeah,
Especially single mothers. I love single mothers, don't get me wrong, I was raised by a single mother, but there's a little leeway in there as to timing, and it works out bad for the children as they get older.
yeah. It does, and that's a shame, because what this book is about, and if you're interested in the book, or you want to come on the show and talk to Ernest or talk to me, I have no problem with you sitting in my chair and talking to Ernest about what we talk about on here, or give us some advice, maybe there's stuff we left off.
Right.
We always learn. There's a email address on the site. Please contact the email address. Let us know if you're interested in the book or you're interested in coming on the show and talk to us, because we'd love to have you.
And I set up another email address for this show. It's with my name, which is, I think Bill will put it up in a minute, and it's No Fences.
That's your TB.
7652.
That's your TB
Oh, that's
thing.
the TBTV.
Yeah,
TBTV 7652. And that will get me that one, and I also have one is No Fences 7652. So if you would like to come and talk to us, I'll be glad to talk to you.
yeah, we're looking for people to come on. I've got some people getting lined up here for the not next week, but the week after, I think. I've got a guest coming,
Okay.
which I think is be interesting. He's out of a VA group that I work with.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting, because he likes what we talk about, and we're doing the book in the class. So why did I do that is a question that we even ask ourselves after we learn that we teach people how to treat us. Because when we are adults and we finally realize that we've taught them to be disrespectful, we've taught them that the rules are lenient, that they're flexible. In reality, when you step out the door, the rules aren't flexible.
No, they're not.
You break the law, you break the law. You speed, you speed. You turn the corner without signaling, you turn the corner without signaling. There's no flexibility in that. We have to look at ourselves and ask, why did we do that? And does that come from our parents, who were taught by their parents, who were taught by their parents?
Right.
At some point, responsibility and accountability and firm, fair, and consistent's got to tick in. Well, we got about 30 seconds left.
Just what you said, I grew up in a house where my grandmother was exactly those three. She was firm, she was fair, and she was consistent. And I can see it in my first cousins and stuff compared to my second and third cousin.
Right.
After she had passed, who didn't get to deal with her. And there's a big difference in us in the way we treat people and the way we treat each other.
All right. Thank you, Ernest.
Good night.
Good night.